Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and thanks again to anybody that subscribed to the channel. I like kind of making friends on here and all that sort of stuff, so hopefully anyone new can please comment and we can get to know each other a bit more. So yeah, I'm doing a TBR video. I don't normally do this. I did a plans for 2022 video when the year went into 2022, and that was the first time I'd done something like that, and that was like a review of the year that had just gone and that sort of thing. I'm doing this because I did so many book events, so much of the year has been filled with book events, so it's kind of steered my reading. So I've absolutely loved doing the book events, but I've done a lot of them. So back in February, there was the February Fantasy Stories one, which I read the first Elric book, and I read the second. Was that in that one? I think it was that one that I read the second Dresden Files book and that kind of stuff. That was a really good book event. And in March, there was March Mystery Madness. And in that one, my favourite book I read in March Mystery Madness was Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Really, really good book. I've done a separate review video for that book. So that was March Mystery Madness. April was the only month, I think, so far, besides January, I guess. April was a month where I didn't do a book event. I sort of caught up with myself a little bit. I also did some of the reviews for March Mystery Madness in April as well, so it doesn't feel like it was a whole month, if you like. So I had some catching up to do in that sense. And then May was Horror Mayhem, and I remember reading Nothing But Blackened Teeth, which was an interesting read. I read my first Clive Barker book, which was good, and a few other bits like that. And then June on the Range happened in June, which is all about westerns, and the first time I read westerns, and that was good. Really liked Shane, really liked Shane, and did a separate video for that. And I started reading something else. Oh, Sisters Brothers was the only one, was the other one I liked in June on the Range. And then July wasn't really a book event, but I was doing my 30 book challenge, or I started that in June. I went through it in July, and I was just reading short books because I hated not being able to buy a book. So this TBR video is going to feature lots of big books. So I just avoided them because I just wanted to get through I just wanted to go down the shop and look in a charity shop for a book or get some on eBay, and I was just stopping myself from doing it. So that 30 book challenge dominated July. In August, we've had loads, like the three that I know I've mentioned on the channel so far is obviously Garb August, because I'm doing that vlog, and then Audible August, which is my event, and then Book Trek 2022 as well, which Revenant Reads started. So August has been full of that as well. So September, I'm not going to do a book event. I was tempted because there's a really good one starting about detectives, and I've got a few possibles on that, but I've thought, no, I need to do some reading on the stuff that I've wanted to read for ages. So I'll show you some of the stuff that I want to read as soon as possible. So I've been dying to read this because I've mentioned it a few times on my channel how much I love Kings of the Wild, and this is the follow-up book. So it's like the next generation, if you like. I think that's Rose, from what I can gather from the first book. That would be Rose, and she's kind of carrying on the mercenary tradition, I think, in this book. So yeah, absolutely can't wait to read this because I really like the first book. And then again, in a similar way, I want to read the second book of Mistborn because I loved the first one, but again, it's a chunky one, but I really want to read that. And I want to read the second book of the First Law trilogy. Again, I really love the first one, and if I leave it too long, I'll have to read the first one again, won't I? So I need to get on with that. I want to carry on my reading of Adrian Tchaikovsky, and this looks like a really good one. Cage of Souls. Again, it's another chunky one, but I think he's a brilliant writer, one of my favourite writers, so I definitely want to read this, and that's been sitting there for a while as well. But yeah, I want to read this. I recently found this, which I think is right up my street, but again, I haven't read it yet. Six of Crows. So this is about thieves, and like I've said in previous videos, I like small scale fantasy a lot, so I expect I'll probably like this. So I want to read that as well. I really want to read this. I bought this because another booktuber mentioned it, and it looked really interesting. So there's a French book about a flight that gets disturbed by atmospheric interference or whatever, and it ends up being duplicated, and the plane and every single person inside it, the duplication of that plane and everyone inside it lands as well as the original. So there's two versions of everything, and it spins off into loads of consequences, and it sounds really fascinating. So the Anomaly is definitely one I want to read ASAP as well. And I've had this for a while, Clara and the Sun, and it got loads of rave reviews when it came out. A lot of people love it, and I need to read some of the. I've bought a few Ishiguro books over the last few months anyway as well, so I'd like to see what I think of him. But this is a very popular book, very well received book. So Clara and Sun, and I know it's about AI, which is awesome. And I got from the library a Joyce Carol Oates short story collection, and that's really just to find out what I think of her, because I've heard so much about her and I haven't read anything by her yet. So that one's on my list as well. And I'm continuing my my journey towards a second Stephen King video. So I wanted to find another 10 books that I want to talk about in a second Stephen King video, and that's the next one I'm going to be reading probably. But I've got The Gunfighter to read, and I've got Billy Summers now. I've got tons to read, but and Cujo, I want to read Cujo soon. But yeah, I'm working towards another video about Stephen King. And this is the last book I need to read that will go towards my next time travel video. So I definitely want to read this so that I can do that video. So it's going to be slightly different to my first time travel video, because the first one had lots of classic books in it. This is going to include some things that are a little bit more under the radar. But I want to read this first because I'm likely to include this one. So, yeah, loads of stuff for me to be excited about. I really want to read, and they could be some of my favourite books in there. But I can only read them if I put a hold on the book events. So there's probably going to be all sorts of other things that I see that might be worth doing. But that's my plan anyway, to get stuck in on those books. Have you read any of those books? Some of those I've mentioned already, but some of them I haven't mentioned on the channel yet. So I'd like to know what you think of them. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.